chestcavity concoctions.
I get that this was like a while ago. This was like almost a month now, maybe more. I've been doing exams. This is my first day of summer, guys. The rapper Carson, for his More Chaos tour, apparently stole a bunch of logos from Morbid Angel and Horner. And it seems like some of the heavy metal community is really mad about it. The uproar wasn't like insane or anything. I think it was only like a very minimal amount of people that were actually angry within the heavy metal community, because I think in general, the heavy metal community is like more mature. Well, not mature. I think the heavy metal community are usually too lazy to put in the effort to give a fuck about things like this, because it's like so minimal, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are acting like this is something that's genuinely like a bad thing, you know? They're acting like they're calling Ken Carson out for this, when it's like, what the fuck are you guys, what are you tripping about, guys? Low-key, he's corny as fuck, don't get me wrong. Admittedly, when the first track on the album was called Lords of Chaos, that was kind of cringe, I must admit. But like, at the end of the day, him stealing the artwork, like, it's not crazy, guys. And I have a few reasons for this, and the first reason is that he's not trying to steal their artwork or their logo or their designs, you know? He's taking their exact logos in their exact fonts and using them for his album art, okay? That's not stealing. He's completely aware that people are gonna associate this with Morbid Angel. He knows that, and he wants people to think that. He's literally a metalhead, by the way. I don't know if people know that. I think it's quite cool to see how metal and other extreme elements of music are starting to like seep into the hip-hop scene, particularly the underground hip-hop scene. I think that's awesome. How are people complaining about that? That's literally the coolest thing ever. Stupid gatekeepers, bro. I think the subject of how heavy metal and hip-hop interlink is such like an interesting, intricate, like niche topic of discourse. I think a lot of people would be really surprised to see how many hip-hop stars used to be like goth or punk or like heavy metal kids, you know? And metal has been taking inspiration from like hip-hop communities for like ages, for decades. So I don't know why it's suddenly a problem when like something like this happens, when this has been going on for ages, you know? So I think it's kind of silly that metalheads complain about Ken Carson taking all these logos and aesthetics, especially when not only is Ken a big metal fan himself. This would be such like a sick opportunity for people to get into heavy metal more, you know, and for the like two genres to collide more. I think that would make such a cool subculture, and it's been going on for ages. Like, I don't know why I'm saying I hope it does happen, because it in a lot of ways it has happened a lot. But I think especially at this point, when underground hip-hop has really sort of taken off, and it's really started to sort of take a lot of heavy inspiration from crazy different music genres like electronic dance music and heavy metal and pop. And this brings up the question of who cares if Ken Carson is stealing metal logos? Because first of all, we know he's not stealing, is he? I mean, you know what they say, like, inspiration is the biggest form of flattery. And heavy metal logos in fashion happens a lot, and I don't see any uproar about it. You know what I mean? Like Haunted Starbucks? Damn. He uses metal logos all the time, all these big brands, and they look sick as fuck. People need to understand that when heavy metal logos are used in any kind of piece of media, they're not, like, trying to actively fuck over or rip off or steal the designs of these heavy metal bands. They're usually using them as an ode to these heavy metal bands in like because they admire the aesthetic that heavy metal has built over the decades. They're doing the opposite of fucking these bands over. They're like showing their admiration for them. You look at this shirt and you tell me if Haunted Starbucks is ripping off the Cradle of Filth design. What do you think genuinely went through the head of Haunted Starbucks when he designed this shirt? Do you think he really likes Cradle of Filth, and so he decided to put it on a shirt, but instead saying his brand logo, the exact same kind of logo, everything the same, right? Because he loves Cradle of Filth. He wants a homage to Cradle of Filth or a reference to Cradle of Filth on the shirt. Or do you think he thought, oh, this is a sick design. I've never heard of this band, and I don't care about it, but I want to steal it in hopes that no one will have ever heard of it. In hopes that everyone will think this is my original design, because no one knows who Cradle of Filth is. Low-key pisses me off the way some of you guys would actually say B. Low-key pisses me off. And on the subject of like logo design, are we gonna ignore that like heavy metal bands do the exact same thing?
Bro, what the fuck is this? Are they ripping off the Toys R Us logo? Nah, bro. We gotta cancel them effective immediately, bro. Look, this is the original design, and look what they stole. Look, do you see the similarities? Yeah. Logo thieves, bro.
Like, this logo is designed to make you think of Toys R Us, right? And it's the same with this, okay? Why are you guys complaining? I think it has something to do with like Gen Z being a lot more cynical than previous generations. Maybe because of the internet, or maybe because of the social atmosphere we grew up in. I don't know. But they'll see something like Ken Carson's stealing logos, and their minds will immediately vert to like, oh, he's stealing it and not giving any credit, and he's an awful person because of this. Oh, he's trying to be a metalhead so bad. He's trying to be a rock star so bad. Guys, what do you mean he's trying to be a rock star? He's trying to be a fucking metalhead. Like, yes? Was that not fucking obvious? Aren't all metalheads trying to be metalheads, you fucking meatheads? Like, what? I am making it seem like this was a massive uproar thing, when in fact it was just a bunch of fucking whiny, annoying nerds.
Rapper Ken Carson has ripped off both Morbid Angel and Horner's logos on his merch for his new album, More Chaos, that I believe came out last week.
Ken Carson is stealing the metal logos? Oh my god. Let me get a cup of coffee. Can I get a coffee? Oh my god. Oh my god, Lois. You're stupid. You get into these scenes and you realize they're full of toxicity. And they're full of fucking dumb people. I do think it's because of TikTok, genuinely, that like a lot of alternative scenes online have become really toxic and really cynical. No wonder there's people like trying to steal or take alternative aesthetics while not wanting to associate with the alternative community, because like, look at how toxic some of the community is, or look how fucking whingy and whiny and sensitive a lot of the community is when people try to get involved with it, or when people try to express their interest in it or whatever. It's just like a cesspit of saying, you're not a real metalhead, you're not a real metalhead, I'm a real metalhead. Oh my god, like, shut the fuck up. Ken Carson is, like, stealing metal logos and, like, oh... What the fuck are you tripping about, bro? What are you tripping about? Alternative crackers be like, I got bullied in school. My brother in Christ, it's because you fucking suck. It's not...